The NBA is full of epic moments and legendary players, but behind the glory, there are stories so strange, so unbelievable, the league hopes you never find out. From secret suspensions to bizarre trades and mysterious disappearances, these aren't just rumors, they're real. Get ready to uncover the weirdest NBA stories the league would rather erase from history. Dion Waiters and the Gummy Incident. In November 2019, Dion Waiters of the Miami Heat found himself in a strange and serious situation. During a team flight from Phoenix to Los Angeles, he took a gummy candy that contained THC. Even though marijuana is legal in many U.S. states, the NBA does not allow it. While flying, Dion lost consciousness and had what doctors later called a panic attack. Some reports wrongly said he had a seizure, but Dion denied that. When the plane landed, medical staff treated him immediately. He missed the next game due to illness, but it didn't end there. 2 days later, the Miami Heat suspended him for 10 games without pay. This suspension cost him more than $1 million and also stopped him from earning a bonus. Dion later admitted that eating the gummy was a foolish decision. He said the media made it sound worse than it really was. Still, this one gummy caused him to lose money, miss games, and become the center of national news. Bonzi Wells, Chris Mills, and a post-game brawl. On December 20th, 2002, the Portland Trail Blazers played against the Golden State Warriors. Portland won with a last-second shot, but the real action happened after the game. Bonzi Wells and Chris Mills began pushing and fighting. Soon, other players joined in. The situation became worse when Mills tried to enter the Trail Blazers' locker room to continue the fight. Fans got involved, throwing things onto the court. Rasheed Wallace even chased a fan who threw gum at him. The whole scene was chaotic. Chris Mills was suspended for 3 games. Bonzi Wells was suspended for 2 games, and Rasheed Wallace was fined $15,000. This fight added to the Trail Blazers' bad reputation at the time. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and the ankle monitor. In 2017, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was playing for the Lakers. Earlier that year, he had been pulled over and failed a breathalyzer test in Michigan. He was put on probation, but missed drug tests, which led to a short jail sentence. However, he was allowed to leave jail during the day to play basketball in California, but he couldn't leave the state. During some home games, fans noticed something on his leg. It was a GPS ankle monitor. He had to wear it while playing in real NBA games. The Lakers staff had to give him breath tests after games. Despite this strange situation, he continued to play well. His wife even confirmed the ankle monitor was real. It was a mix of legal trouble and live sports that fans had never seen before. Coach David Fddale blames Fortnite. In 2019, the New York Knicks were having a terrible season. Coach David Fddale had an unusual reason for the team's poor performance: the video game Fortnite. He said players were staying up too late playing the game. He believed it was affecting their sleep, health, and game performance. Some players agreed. One said he used to play until 3 a.m. and felt better once he stopped. Not everyone thought the game was to blame. Some people said Fddale was just looking for an excuse. He was later fired after a poor record, but the Fortnite comments added to his unusual time as coach. Blake Griffin and the equipment manager fight. In January 2016, Blake Griffin of the Clippers was in Toronto with his teammates. He and equipment manager Matthias Testi, who was also a close friend, started arguing during dinner. The argument turned into a physical fight outside the restaurant. Griffin punched Testi and broke his own hand. Testi had a swollen face but wasn't seriously injured. Griffin had surgery and missed 45 games. He lost over $850,000 in salary and was suspended by the team. The fight ended his friendship with Testi, who left the team after the season. It was a strange case of a star player hurting himself and his team over a personal argument. J.R. Smith and the soup incident. In March 2018, J.R. Smith threw a bowl of chicken tortilla soup at Cavaliers assistant coach Damon Jones. This happened in the locker room during practice week, not during a game. Smith later said he had thought about it and then decided to throw the soup. Jones had made fun of him, and Smith didn't like the timing of the joke. He was suspended for 1 game. Smith and Jones didn't speak for 3 months after the incident, but later made peace. It was one of the NBA's strangest locker room stories. Luke Ridnour and the trade carousel. In June 2015, Luke Ridnour was traded 4 times in 6 days. He went from Orlando to Memphis, then to Charlotte, Oklahoma City, and finally Toronto. He never played a game for any of those teams. By July, Toronto waived him. And by the next year, Ridnour retired. He said the experience showed the cold business side of the NBA. He chose to walk away and focus on his family. Amar Stodmire and the fire extinguisher. In 2012, the New York Knicks lost Game 2 of their playoff series to the Miami Heat. After the game, Amar Stodmire was so angry that he punched a glass case holding a fire extinguisher. He thought the case was plastic, but it was glass. He badly cut his left hand and needed stitches and minor surgery. He missed the next game, and the Knicks suffered even more. He later apologized on Twitter and said it was an emotional mistake. It became one of the most unforgettable injuries in playoff history. Derrick Rose disappears from the Cavaliers. In November 2017, Derrick Rose left the Cleveland Cavaliers without warning. The team said it was for personal reasons, but later reports said he was thinking about quitting basketball. He had been injured and frustrated. This wasn't the first time he had done something like this. Earlier, when he played for the Knicks, he missed a game without telling anyone. After about 2 weeks, he returned to the Cavaliers and apologized. There were no fines or punishments. Twice in 2 years, Rose disappeared from his team without clear explanation. Rockets vs. Clippers Tunnel Incident. In January 2018, the Houston Rockets played the Los Angeles Clippers. The game had lots of arguments and ejections. After the game, things got even stranger. Trevor Ariza and Gerald Green tried to enter the Clippers' locker room to confront players. Chris Paul and James Harden were also nearby, but the NBA said they were trying to keep the peace. The Rockets used a back hallway and even sent a player to distract security. No punches were thrown, but the whole thing felt like a movie scene. Ariza and Green were suspended for 2 games, Carmelo Anthony and Kevin Garnett. The bus incident. In January 2013, during a game between the Knicks and the Celtics, Carmelo Anthony and Kevin Garnett exchanged harsh words. After the game, Carmelo tried to confront Garnett. He waited by the Celtics team bus, but security and police stopped him. The NBA suspended him for 1 game, which cost him over $170,000. Later, the 2 players talked and cleared the air. No fight happened, but it was unusual to see a star player go so far to continue an argument. Paul Pierce and the Instagram live firing. In April 2021, Paul Pierce, a former NBA star and ESPN commentator, went live on Instagram. During the video, he was seen drinking, smoking, and partying with dancers. ESPN fired him just 2 days later. It was one of the strangest ways a broadcaster has ever lost their job. Pierce later said he wasn't upset and had other plans. Each of these stories shows just how unusual and unpredictable life in the NBA can be. From personal mistakes to emotional reactions, these moments are part of what makes the league so fascinating, and sometimes unforgettable. Paul Pierce's livestream scandal. Paul Pierce had been working as an NBA analyst since 2017. He often appeared on shows like NBA Countdown and The Jump, but one live stream changed everything. In the video, he was at home playing poker, drinking, possibly smoking marijuana, and hanging out with exotic dancers. One woman gave him a massage while others danced on camera. It was very public, very bold, and very different from Disney's usual image. Disney owns ESPN, where Pierce worked. Even though Pierce didn't break any laws, he did break ESPN's code of conduct. They used their moral standards to explain why they fired him. By Monday, he was gone. Pierce didn't stay silent. On social media and in podcasts, he said he was just enjoying himself and didn't think he did anything wrong. But ESPN made it clear. It wasn't about laws, it was about the image. This became a perfect example of how one social media post can destroy a career. In 2024, Pierce joined Fox Sports 1, but he still talks about how he got fired. He still doesn't understand why. That video has become one of the most surprising "you're fired" moments in sports media history. John Wall versus J.J. Berea, a war of words. On January 22, 2018, the Washington Wizards played against the Dallas Mavericks. Things got tense. J.J. Berea received a technical foul, and John Wall started trash-talking. After the game, Wall called Berea just a little midget trying to get mad. That insult went viral. JJ, who is 6 feet tall and had been in the NBA for 12 years, fired back. He said, "Now I have someone in the NBA I don't like." He added something more painful. "I don't think his teammates like him either." This was personal. There were already rumors about Wall having problems with teammates. This made it worse. There were no fights or fines, just strong words that showed deeper issues. This drama showed fans a different kind of NBA conflict. Not physical, but emotional and mental. It wasn't about the game. It was about respect, chemistry, and leadership. Marcus Smart's picture frame injury. In January 2018, Celtics player Marcus Smart was in Los Angeles. He got angry after seeing a social media post and punched what he thought was a plastic-covered picture. It was actually glass. The glass broke and cut his right hand badly. He needed stitches. Doctors said he was lucky, not hitting tendons or arteries. Still, he missed 11 games during a key time in the season. Smart later apologized on Twitter, saying he was embarrassed. Doctors even left a piece of glass in his hand to avoid more damage. He kept it as a reminder. This wasn't Smart's first emotional outburst, but it was the most serious. It became a turning point in his career. The injury became a daily reminder to control his emotions. Blake Griffin, from Clipper for life to traded. In July 2017, the Clippers tried hard to keep Blake Griffin. They put on a huge show, lights, music, speeches, and called him a Clipper for life. Griffin signed a 5-year, $173 million contract. But 6 months later, in January 2018, they traded him to Detroit. No warning, no goodbye, just a surprise move. Fans and players were shocked. The Clippers had gone from praising Griffin to sending him away. It showed how cold and sudden business decisions can be in the NBA. Griffin's story became one of the weirdest trust betrayals in recent history. It reminded everyone, even stars can be traded. Wilt Chamberlain's dunk breaks a toe. This strange story comes from the 1960s. Johnny "Red" Kerr said he was guarding Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt got angry, dunked the ball so hard that it bounced off the floor and hit Kerr's toe. It broke his toe. Kerr didn't want to admit he got hurt that way, so he pretended to trip. There are no official reports, but Kerr told the story in a book, Tall Tales. This wasn't a normal injury. It didn't come from contact. It came from the power of Wilt's dunk. A ball bouncing that hard is rare, but Wilt wasn't a normal player. Earl Watson, fired after 3 games. In 2017, the Phoenix Suns started the season badly. After losing their first 3 games, they fired coach Earl Watson. That made history. It was one of the fastest firings ever. The team had been struggling. Their record the season before was 24-58. When they lost 2 games by over 40 points, the front office acted quickly. They replaced Watson with Jay Triano. Around that time, Eric Bledsoe tweeted, "I don't want to be here." The team was in chaos. Though Triano won the next game, the season was rough. Watson's firing stood out because it happened so fast and because there wasn't a big scandal, just losses. David Robinson scores 71 points to win scoring title. On April 24th, 1994, David Robinson was chasing the scoring title. Shaquille O'Neal had scored 32 points earlier that day. Robinson needed at least 33. He didn't just get 33. He scored 71. He played 44 minutes, made 26 of 41 shots, and even hit a three-pointer. The Spurs gave him the ball constantly. Some people said the Clippers didn't play hard defense. Still, Robinson's performance was historic. Only 3 other players had scored that many points before. Robinson got the scoring title and a legacy game. It was a wild end to the season. Tyron Lou fired. Larry Drew refuses interim tag. In 2018, the Cavaliers started 0-6. They fired coach Tyron Lue, who had won them a championship in 2016. Many fans were shocked. Larry Drew was named interim coach, but he didn't like that. He said, "I'm just the voice of the team," and refused to take the title without a real contract. Eventually, the Cavs gave in. They signed him as full-time coach for the season. It was rare. Usually, teams don't give interim coaches that much power. Drew made a bold move, and it worked. John Wall and Gortat's Twitter drama. In February 2018, the Wizards were winning without John Wall. Marcin Gortat tweeted, "Great team win." The quote marks around team made it look like he was mocking Wall. Wall responded on SportsCenter, calling it out. Gortat said he meant no harm and was just happy for the win. But fans saw the tension. One Reddit user joked, "Gortat on John Wall. He is spoon-feeding me. I am getting fat now." It showed how fans joined in the drama. It wasn't a huge fight, but it showed real chemistry problems, and it played out publicly. These NBA stories are not about amazing game-winning shots or big trades. They're about weird, emotional, and shocking moments that show a different side of the league. From personal mistakes to sudden firings, from strange injuries to off-court drama. These stories remind us that behind the game are real people, with emotions, mistakes, and unforgettable moments. If you enjoyed this, I'll be posting more like it soon. Please subscribe. Thanks for watching.